tell you about a developing situation happening right now in Pittsburgh. That is the scene outside of a Donald Trump rally that happened earlier tonight. There have been reports of several people being detained outside that rally. And among the crowd there is our own CBS News digital journalist, Jackie Alemany. Jackie, tell us, what have you seen? What are you seeing right now? What is happening?
Hey, Elaine, so I'm outside of the Westin Convention Center where Donald Trump held a rally tonight. Protesters, about several hundred protesters, a lot from the Black Lives Matter movement, started gathering at around, 6:30, 6 o'clock, and it's bubbled up since then. Basically, the protesters were aggressively taunting a lot of the overflow that was online trying to get into the Trump rally, because capacity inside the rally was about 8,000, and so people were not allowed to get in. And as more and more people were turned away, it got more and more contentious between the protesters and the overflow. So, the entire Pittsburgh police force has showed up outside the convention center tonight. They eventually created a human barricade between the protesters and the overflow of Trump supporters. And really, the most contentious part has been right now, actually, because Trump has ended his speech and everyone is filtering out of the rally, and which means just thousands of people, 8,000 people, 8,000 Trump supporters pouring into the streets, and these protesters are just here waiting for them. So the police has actually done an amazing job, including the tactical unit. As you can see from this video, there are police officers wearing their riot gear, of containing the protesters to an area inside an underpass in the convention center, as Trump supporters were let out of alternative exit doors on other sides of the building. I have seen several fights. I've seen a few Black Lives Matter protesters taken away and detained by police. I'm not sure of the exact number, though.
Jackie, I'm looking at your own Twitter feed, and it looks like about 40 minutes or so ago, you captured one of these very tense situations with what appeared to be a protester versus a Donald Trump supporter, where a woman was basically getting in the face of one of these Trump supporters. At the time, you said there was scarce police presence. Tell me about how this all unfolded with the scene now that we are now looking at, Jackie, this feed here, heavily armed police there standing at the ready.
Yeah, prior to police arriving, there were a lot of interactions like that, protesters aggravating people online, yelling in their faces, throwing signs in their faces, and, the police moved in very swiftly and definitely at the right time, because things just got more and more heated. If there wasn't a big police contingency here right now, I could see things getting very, very violent.
Jackie, I'm going to ask you to hang on for just a second. I want to actually play that clip if we can, so we can take a listen. This is what Jackie herself witnessed. That clip that we just showed you was from her own Twitter feed, what she witnessed just a short time ago on the scene there in Pittsburgh. Let's take a listen. All right, a little hard to hear what it was exactly that the woman was yelling there, but obviously a very tense situation. So, Jackie, now from where you're standing, what do you see the protesters doing, and what do you see the Trump supporters doing?
I think Trump supporters have been, many of them are just exiting peacefully. Those looking for trouble have come towards where the protesters have been cordoned off by police. So as you can, hopefully you can see right now from my shot, there is a line of police officers in riot gear separating the Trump supporters who have come to heckle the protesters, they've separated them. And, the protester contingency has died off. It's separated a bit throughout the convention center because protesters have tried to go to the areas where Trump supporters are exiting. I'm sorry, one second, I'm climbing over a barricade right now to get to where there's another huge group of protesters. But it's sort of mass chaos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's managed chaos. Like I said, the police are doing a very good job. They were clearly very prepared tonight. A police officer told me that no one's been spared, and that the entire Pittsburgh police force has come out.
And Jackie, let me ask you this. You were inside just before we came to you. I know you were inside the rally. Is that right?
Yes, I was.
And did anything happen there? Just tell us about that as Donald Trump was speaking.
No, the Trump team has lately done a very good job of screening every single person, all 8,000 people that enter every single one of his rallies in order to prevent violence that's happened in the past. They monitor people with signs, and so there hasn't been much fuss within the rallies lately. It's just been outside when Trump supporters can't get in, and they inevitably wander out to protesters looking for a confrontation.
I know, Jackie, that at one point, though, I looked at the very end of the rally there, and I was watching the feed, and Donald Trump appeared to exit fairly quickly instead of doing what we've seen him do during other rallies at the end of them, and that is go out and work a rope line essentially and shake the hands of those supporters who've come out for him. Do you have any sense from the campaign? Have you been able to get in touch? I know it's a pretty chaotic scene still right now, but have you been able to get in touch with anyone from the campaign? Was that something that was planned in advance, or was he reacting perhaps to some information that he may have gotten?
No, I'm sorry, Elaine, I wasn't able to hear your question completely, but I think if you just asked about Trump skipping rope line.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Do we know, was that something planned?
I really am not quite sure of what went down inside the rally, but oftentimes when things are contentious and potentially a security concern, Trump does skip the rope line, but it also could very well be a scheduling issue. Trump was a little late to this rally. He could just be rushing to where he has to get to next. So I haven't been able to touch base with the campaign yet about that.
And Jackie, what do we know about any protests that might have been planned going into the event tonight before it even started? Had you been hearing about potentially protesters coming down to the convention center where you are now and trying to make their voices heard?
Yeah, I think people had anticipated protests in Pittsburgh because it is a liberal city. Bernie Sanders was just, I think, at the same convention center recently. There is a huge Bernie contingency. So this is clearly something that the police force was very well prepared for, along with the campaign, it seems like.
Yeah, and Jackie, we are continuing to look at this live feed here, and what we see are people who appear to be sort of milling about, looking at what appears to be a group of people holding signs there, protesters. Can you read? I can't tell, Jackie, from our shot. What is that sign that they're holding up there?
Yeah, that sign is. Hold on, let's get a little closer. That sign says, "Blame the billionaires, not black and brown communities." And there are just a lot of people here who are really, really, really frustrated with a lot of the things Donald Trump says. There are a lot of signs that say no tolerance for anti-Muslim bigotry. A lot of very profane signs that say, nasty things about Trump. And you can see it in these protesters' faces. Some are super aggressive, and some look hurt and very affected and sullen. There are just emotions are really high on both sides, and Trump supporters feel as equally passionate back, and the combination of the two is quite heated, as you can see.
All right, CBS News digital journalist Jackie Alemany, thank you so much from Pittsburgh there.
Thanks, Elaine.
We'll be checking in with you if there are further developments. Certainly a tense scene there outside that Donald Trump rally.